So, hello, everyone, and welcome back to Divine Rebel. My name is Racey, and I am going to be giving the messages for you today. These are the new moon in Virgo, Independence, secret code name readings. If you got yourself a secret code name, you purchased a reading, you know which one is yours. For those of you who did not purchase your personal secret code name but are drawn to one of the secret code names or resonate to one of them, they pop out at you, chances are there is a message in there for you. For those of you not familiar with me or the channel and are new, be aware I have no filter. I don't sugarcoat my messages. I'm a Sag. I read how I read. I'm very aware that anything can come out of my mouth at any time. So if that is not your thing, or you have kids around, or just don't appreciate those kinds of messages, I'm always very respectful of that, and I give you the opportunity to sign off now. All right, otherwise we will be getting into these independence readings. Now, independence readings, for those of you who don't quite understand and you think independence is on your own, independent, whatever, what I'm actually drawing to for the energy of this new moon is independence from the shadows or the wounds that are essentially keeping you prisoner in karmic cycles. Okay, so this is about your independence, finding your independence from your karmic shadows. Okay, that's what these secret code names are going to be for, to help you understand how to let go of the hold that your own karmic shadows or wounds have on you. Okay, I'm using my chakra wisdom tarot for this. I am also using my amethyst astro dice. All right, the secret code names are Coffee Break, Black Bear, Yoda, Sirius, hey, Starstruck, Raven, Powerpuff, Violet Ray, Oriental Lily, Jawnski, Lamb Spirit, and Razzle Dazzle. All right, those are the secret code names. They will be in that order. After the live is done, I will go back, put all the timestamps in the description so that you can just click the timestamp and it'll forward right to that place in the video for you. All right, the first secret code name is Coffee Break, and for those who resonate with the secret code name. All right, so Spirit, what's going on specifically with the Astros for them, please? 7th house, partnerships. North node, scorpionic energy. All right. There's nothing actually major going on in the house of Scorpio. There's no major planets in there. South node, or North node rather, is in Sagittarius and it's moving back towards Scorpio. So once we get into scorpionic north or south node, right, you could be going through a lot of different transformative energy when it comes to how you deal with that instant slap on the wrist or receive that instant slap on the wrist, especially if you have a North Node in Taurus type energy, because that's where North Node would be if South Node is in Scorpio. Uranus is also in Taurus right now, okay? And will be once that transition happens. North Node right now is in Gemini, okay? North Node's in Gemini. It's the only real major piece that's in there right now, although Sirius is on a kick not far away. Sirius is at 9 degrees Gemini. North Node is at 5 degrees Gemini. And there are some pretty challenging aspects going from Ceres to Vulcan and aimed at Pluto. Pluto dealing with the deep soul scars, and that's in Capricorn. 7th house is all about partnerships. So you have to understand where in your specific chart, right? In your specific chart. Wherever your north node placement is, okay, whatever house it's in and in whatever sign it's in, Scorpionic energy is going to be at play. It's calling for transformation. It is asking you to perceive things differently or choose things differently, that you would be able to override your own self-sabotaging behaviors, because Scorpio does deal with self-sabotage, okay? Scorpio deals with jealousy in its shadow. Scorpio deals with a short fuse or temper after being suppressed type shadow. Scorpio can deal with infidelity in its shadow. You have to understand your destiny's direction, North Node, your destiny's direction is trying to get you away from those shadow behaviors and partnerships. 7th house of partnerships, right? It's asking you to please override these shadows. They're shadows, they're karmic shadows, and buying into them or feeding into them or acting on them or allowing those thoughts to run rampant instead of telling them to shut the fuck up is going to cause you problems. If you want independence from your shadow, this is what you need to get a hold of, right? Hey, hey, hey. That's what you need to get a hold of. You literally need to take a coffee break to just chill. You know, like if you don't have your caffeine for too long, you get a migraine. It's like you need to go and you need to have your coffee break and you need to take care of yourself, because otherwise you're literally going to give yourself a migraine. It's no different, metaphorically speaking, with your soul at this point. You know, if you don't take a break from all those thoughts spinning around in your head, you're going to hurt yourself. Mentally, emotionally, in your reality, damage your relationships, your partnership, right? That's what Spirit's asking you to take a look at. It is asking you to choose to redirect, choose to transform your thoughts, especially because North Node is in Gemini and it's a mind-ruling thing, right? It's mercurial. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. It's the planet of the mind. You have to be able to transform your thoughts and say, I can't go there. That's not going to serve me. If I'm thinking that way, it's not going to serve me. If I'm feeling this way, it's not going to serve me. I can't sit here and be jealous. I can't sit here and get pissed. I can't sit here and worry about this or that, whatever. I can't go onto my escape routes and deal with addictions or feed addictions, especially if it's shopping addiction or a drinking thing, like whatever it is. Like, you've got to be able to actively choose a new mental pattern of thought. Consciously, this is how you will receive or achieve independence from your karmic shadows. You have to be able to choose it. It is a mental commitment. It is a mental commitment, especially if you want healthier partnerships, because that's where your shadows are affecting you, in your partnerships. Okay. What does this look like? Spirit, please, what does this look like for secret code name coffee break? How is this independence from the karmic shadow, this goal fanning out? What does it look like? One, yeah, you got to stop feeling like you're alone. The Star and the Hermit both came out. You are not alone in your love for whoever you're in a relationship with. The feelings are not one way. You got to understand, we've got heart chakra energy, right? Because this is my chakra wisdom tarot. This is heart chakra energy and solar plexus energy. You have to be confident enough that your partner loves you the same way you love them. The love and the amount of love is not one-sided. It's not one way. You don't love your partner more than they love you. Period. You do not love your partner more than they love you. That might be the exact thought that needs to transform. Because you wouldn't cheat on your partner. You love them so much. You wouldn't snap at your partner like that or be angry like that, you know? So you must love your partner more, especially if they do that to you. They must not love you. No, they have karmic shadows too. We're talking about yours though. You think you love your partner more than they love you, and that is not true. You think you're in this relationship by yourself. Even if you were to say out loud, no, I know they love me. No, I know they love me. Yeah, but the internal conversation inside your head, you think you love them more than they love you. And you might not admit that to anybody. And this is your divine confirmation. You have to fully accept the fact that your partner loves you equal. They love you exactly the same that you love them. Well, I love them to the ends of the earth. I really don't think they do. No, they do. These cards wouldn't be coming out. The dice have 12 sides, and there's 3 of them. That's 36 different faces that could come up. You got 7th house, North Node, and Scorpio. You got to let the shit go. You got to stop thinking your partner doesn't love you, or love you as much, or love you the same. Bottom of the deck is Temperance. Yeah, you got to fucking alchemate that shit, man. 3 coins on top. Yeah, you've got to commit. You've got to commit to the idea, because 3 of coins is a contractual commitment. It's forming it in the reality. You have to be able to commit to the idea that your counterpart or your partner loves you just the same. And integrate that idea into your behavior and trust it. Root chakra energy. You've got to be able to integrate that and trust that in order for it to shift and change your reality. If you think you love your partner more and that's what you see, that's what you perceive, you're going to manifest a reality that says, yeah, well, if you believe it, you're right, right? Because whether you think you can or you can't, either way, you're right. It's believing is perceiving. What you believe is what you perceive. Whether you think you can or can't, either way, you're right. Because it's what you perceive. It's the inner reflecting in the outer. If you believe you love them more, you're going to manifest a reality that proves you're right, because you wouldn't do the things they're doing. But that changes your behavior. What if they love you exactly the same? What if they're committed to you the way you're committed to them, exactly the same? They just have different demons than you. They just have different karmic shadows than you. And they express themselves differently because they're a different fucking person than you. They're not you. You're you. But they're them. What, because they don't act like you or think like you or behave like you or respond like you or whatever, they don't love you the same? What if they actually love you the same? What if? Right, that's the kind of shift that has to happen in here. What if I've been telling myself that I love them more than they love me all this time, and really they love me the same? What if they've loved me the same way for a really long time? And I've been doing this or doing that or trying to prove this or trying to prove that or acting out over this or acting out over that, when that perception that I love them more is faulty. It's incorrect. This is a transformation of thinking. It's a transformation in thinking. Scorpionic North Node. Yeah, Hierophant was under that. You've got to commit. This is not some relationship of convenience. This is Hierophant status relationship underneath the Temperance card. And if you can't accept that, you're going to create more problems for yourself than necessary. You're going to create more problems for yourself than necessary. The sooner you get it in your mind, that transformed thought that maybe they love me exactly the same here, maybe I can behave differently. Maybe I can look at them differently. Maybe I can hold some compassion for them. Because if they love me exactly the same way that I love them and they're pushing me away, they must have gone through some serious fucking shit in their life that they would push away someone who loves them the way they love me. Think about that. I hope that helps, because that's how you gain independence from your shadow. All right. Secret code name Black Bear. Secret code name Black Bear. And those who would resonate to it. If you don't know what Black Bear, animal spirit, and medicine is, I would absolutely take the time to Google it, because that animal totem called to you. It's one of those moments where you're like, Black Bear spirit, I accept. I call you and your energy and your strengths into myself, and I accept. Thank you. Thank you for presenting your energy to me as a gift. Okay. What is going on in the cosmos and the charts to help them with independence, please? Aryan energy, 8th house, the moon. Well, the moon is new moon in Virgo, right? Aryan energy. All right, listen. Because 8th house is about children, legacy, inheritance, and what we leave behind. It's a Scorpionic house. Scorpio and Aries both have lots of Mars energy, and Mars is in Virgo with the sun and the moon. And it's definitely pinging on some shit, because Mars is at 24 degrees, which isn't far off from Venus at 25 degrees in Libra. We got Pluto at 24 degrees, retrograding in Capricorn, and Jupiter at 24 degrees, retrograding in Aquarius. Plus you have Eris in Aries. You have Eris in Aries at 24 degrees, retrograding, okay? Eris, if we're going to talk about Eris and Aries, you have to understand how your own hot-headedness or your own impulses are what cause you the greatest strife or misfortune or ego to ego, head to heads with people. That it's your own way of reacting that causes the biggest problems. Your own way of perceiving or thinking that causes you your biggest problems. Not understanding the bigger perspective, but only seeing it from your own. Not being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Like, you can remember when you were a kid, right? For example, let's just assume you have children. Even if you don't, let's assume for a minute that maybe you do. What if you did, right? Have children. They could be a lot like you. They could be a lot like their other parent. But they're not you, and they're not their other parent. They're them. They don't see things the way you do. They don't see things the way their other parent does. They have other experiences with other people. Whether it's other family members or their friends who also have given them perspectives on things. Or teachers. Or other people that have mentored them that they're inspired by. Celebrities even. Fucking TikTok bullshit people. You have no idea what their actual perspective is as them. But they have their own. They are their own self. They have their own beliefs. They could be a lot like a lot of people, but they are still just them. And their perception is what it is. The shadow of the moon in Virgo is that you would take it personal or be critical of yourself. Like, for example, if you have children and they have some crazy fucking belief that in your mind is so outrageous, you don't know how the fuck they could possibly believe it. How the fuck could they possibly believe it? Did you fail as a parent because they believe it? Because to you it is idiotic to believe like that or perceive like that. Did you fail as a parent? Because your child exists in a real fucking world with other fucking energies and other beliefs, and they have their own fucking planetary birth chart, their own lessons, their own woundings, their own bullshit. You brought them in the world. You don't own them. You can't change their life. You can guide them to the best of your ability. You can teach them all that you know. Getting angry at them or calling them fucking stupid or telling them what they believe is fucking retarded isn't going to help. You might push them away further. It might cause you more misfortune, right? Your impulsive reactions to call something retarded or stupid might make your relationship with someone worse. Might make their relationship with somebody else who was supposed to matter in their life worse. I don't know, like calling their fucking parent stupid when they idolize their parent, their other parent, and you're calling them fucking stupid. And now they don't know what to believe about their other parent. Because maybe the way the other parent said it was correct, and it's just the way they perceived it was wrong, and how they communicated it to you was now skewed through the lens of their perception. And so they don't understand why you're volatile when they're so receptive to their other parent, because they can't receive the volatility. You also got to understand, with 8th house, you're giving what you got from your parents. You're giving what you got. If your parents were hypercritical of you because they were hypercritical of themselves and took your failures personal, your ignorances personal, your perspectives that they didn't agree with personal, like they failed as a parent, and they projected that as being hypercritical of you, you've got to be well aware, 8th house, this is what you're also giving your children. And if you don't have children, it's what you need to heal before you have children, because you're going to give the same karmic wounds to your kids. You can't take anybody's failures, shortcomings, skewed radical perspectives. You can't take that shit personal like you failed. They've got their own fucking self. They've got their own self. It's not your fault. Moon in Virgo is not your fault. You got to understand where your own moon placement is. How that's affecting your 8th house. Especially the Aryan energy in your chart. Take a look at where your moon is, who rules your 8th house, and how Aries energy and whatever is in there is affecting it. Because right now, Eris and Aries, Chiron and Aries. Chiron's in Aries. That's Chiron and Aries is squaring on Hades and Cancer, and trining on Judo and Sag. You've got to remember, spirit, the higher power, source, universe, God, whatever the fuck you want to call it, doesn't make mistakes. It's loyal to the same beautiful potential dream that you have for them. You just might not know how they're getting there. What if Spirit's way is more effective and efficient than yours? Because doing it your way ain't going to work for them. They got to do it their way. They're them. You're you, they're them. It doesn't feel good to yell at someone or freak out at someone. Don't. Figure out another way. Figure out another way, or trust that if you can't figure out another way, then you are not meant to say it, do it, be it, and universe has it fucking covered. You don't need to know. You don't need to do, you don't need to say. Because if you were meant to do, know, or say, Spirit would have gave you the perfect words you'd feel right about saying, doing, being. If you can't find that, it's not your fucking place. Let Spirit handle it. It knows what it's doing. It don't make mistakes. Don't make mistakes. What does this look like, Spirit, please? Black Bear. Secret code name Black Bear. What does this look like? Yeah, you love really hard. You got a hard time letting go of control, emotional control. You've got to be really strong, heart over head, because I think you see the mental prisons other people are in, and you see, it's no different. I was using this analogy earlier. It's like knowing that someone's train is moving 100 miles an hour down the track, and you know 100 miles down the road, the train track goes off a cliff. You know that there is nothing you can do, nothing you can say to the conductor that they would hear you or stop that train. You could stand in front of the goddamn track and they wouldn't be able to brake fast enough to stop for you. They're going 100 miles an hour. And you can jump in front of that track, but you're going to get smacked right out of the fucking way. In pieces. You try and stop that fucking train from going down its path, and you will shatter. It ain't gonna stop the train. That train is on a track meant to fucking crash. You can't stop it. If people are meant to crash, they're meant to crash. If people are meant to learn the hard way because they are stubborn as fuck, what is the point of shattering yourself? They're going to crash anyway. Why can't you be there after the crash, calling in aid to make sure that everything that is potentially salvageable is salvageable? Why can't you talk to the people that you love, that you know, see it too? Yo, do you see that train moving 100 miles an hour down that track? They obviously don't know that that track goes off a cliff. Yo, we're going to need support. When that train crashes, we're going to need all hands on deck support. Let's just be prepared. Let's be prepared. We can't actually stop the train. Can't actually stop the train. There is nothing you could, would, should do better. Think about that. You being overprotective and trying to jump onto that track to stop the train is only getting you fucking nailed. And you ain't going to stop the train. Someone's going to learn the hard way, they're going to learn the hard way. Best thing you could do is let someone know, you know, I love you, right? And I'm going to be here for you no matter what you go through in life, right? That I trust you. You're going to have to make your own choices and feel like a capable person. I can't tell you what to do or how to live or who to be cool with. All I can do is tell you that I love you and I'll be here. No matter what you go through, whether you feel like you've succeeded or failed at things, whether you feel you've made the right choices or you made mistakes, just know I'm going to be here for you and love you regardless. You find yourself in a situation where you need someone familiar that just fucking cares about you and isn't going to tell you to not be yourself or whatever, that I'm here. I'll never try and stop you from living your life. I'll just be here for you as you live your life. I'm just going to love you as you live your life. I don't know if y'all understand astrology, but there are built-in fucking crashes in everybody's chart. Everybody. There is not a single soul on this planet that gets through life without something fucking crashing. We've all got a Lilith placement. We've all got a Chiron placement. We've all got a Pluto placement and a South Node placement and a Saturn placement and a Uranus placement and a fucking moon. We all have them. Nobody is crash free. Nine of Wands on the bottom. They want to feel like a victim. Because you pushed them further down the track. You pushed them to go even faster. Think about it. You try and tell somebody, don't do that. Don't trust this person. What do? They stop trusting you and they start trusting that person even more. And then they fucking crash 10 times harder and they're only resentful. Not because you told them the truth, but because they didn't listen and they can't admit it. They feel worse because they hit you on the track. Nine of Wands is like a wounded warrior card. Definitely that Chiron energy. You'll end up in that energy. That's the underlying problem. You gave so much of yourself. You literally sacrificed yourself in your relationship with them because as soon as they hit you off the track, you ain't in their life no more. You don't exist. You don't exist. They blew you to pieces off the track. In their world, you don't exist. Because that train is their mind going 100 miles an hour, about to fall off the fucking cliff. That's the metaphor. The train is their mind. It's 100 miles an hour. You can't get in the way of their mind. They will blow you to fucking pieces so you don't exist in their mind anymore. That reality, you're gone. Top of the deck, the Fool. Yeah, you got to take a leap of faith off the fucking cliff. You got to trust that when they go off the cliff, they'll be okay. The Fool is on top of the deck. I shit you not. You got to trust that when they go off that fucking cliff, that they'll be okay. You don't have to stop the train from going over. You got to trust they'll be okay. Straight up. Straight up. You're going to want to roar. And you got to be really strong. Strength card and Hanged Woman. And this deck is the Hanged Woman, not the Hanged Man, the Hanged Woman. You've got to make hard overhead decisions. You've got to love them enough to let them crash and figure it out. Your ego can't override that. Your own fears can't override that. You've got to let the heart space and the trust in your spirit and the universe and the learning of lessons that as long as you are not in the way of their mind that they would cut you out, that you're technically still around. You're still around. You're still somewhere in their mind as someone who loves them and wouldn't stop them from being themselves. Stop them from learning whatever they need to learn that makes them a better person in soul, smarter, wiser, whatever you want to call it. I hope that helps. You can't feel like you're missing an opportunity to love somebody more. It's not your fault. You can't stop people from crashing. You could not have loved anybody more, especially in your past. You think you're trying to save someone now because you couldn't save somebody else then? Like you couldn't save them then? Whoever the fuck they were. You couldn't save anybody from crashing. You are not that powerful. Your mind is powerful in your life and your experience, and their mind is powerful in their life and their experience, and your mind is not stronger than theirs. You can't stop anybody from crashing. You can't save anyone. You can only save yourself. Just like only they can say, you know what, I'm going really fucking fast around this bend and I don't know what's on the other side. Maybe I'll slow down. They got to be the one to put the brakes on, just like you do. Just like you do. The only person that can save you and your mind is you. You've got to slow the fucking train down, your mind. Got to slow the train down. Like, I don't know what's around that bend. I might be jumping off a fucking cliff. Jumping in front of their train is no different than you jumping off a fucking cliff and crashing yourself. It's just different perspectives. You can love them and protect them better when you still exist in their mind and they haven't written you off. Love them enough to let them make mistakes. Show them, lead by example, what it looks like to slow a train down by slowing down your own. That's possible. You can slow a train down. All right. Secret code name Yoda. Secret code name Yoda. All right. Astro Dice. Spirit. What is going on? Secret code name Yoda. And those who would be drawn to it or resonate to it. What is it? Pluto. 10th house and Cancer. Pluto's in Capricorn opposing the house to Cancer. They're opposite or polar signs. Now, Pluto's at 24 degrees. There's not actually anything at 24 degrees in Cancer. You might have certain placements getting pinged the fuck off by Pluto being in Capricorn right now, especially if you have Cancer placements. 10th house involves friends, goals, dreams, okay? There's a couple ways I could read this. Because Pluto is a planet of the underworld, right? One, you could be way too emotionally attached or invested in your friends. Especially friends who don't actually reciprocate the way you feel. You also might have to watch how you try and control or manipulate relationships because you care so much. It's almost like putting a guilt trip on people. Well, I care about you so much. I do all of this stuff for you. Why don't you do the same for me? Making people feel guilty. If you love because you expect it in return, then your love is conditional. And that's a power grab. Let's call a spade a spade. You can get pissed all you want at me. This is about independence readings, right? Being independent from your soul scars, independent from your karma, getting out of the shadow, out of shadow cycles, right? So that you can live your best life, claiming independence from your shadow so that you could just be your light, your best self. I gotta call that. You gotta love yourself enough to love unconditionally and not feel owed. Because if you feel owed and people don't pay it back, you get let down, you get hurt, you get emotional, you feel some type of way. Don't do it to yourself. Love them because you love them, and let it go. And know the universe loves you and will turn that love to you in some which other way, shape, or form. You've got to love yourself for being a loving person and not feel like or put expectations on other people to love you back a certain way, because you'd be hindering their life and their free will to do and live their own path. They could feel guided to do this, feel guided to do that. They could be following their joy, following their feel goods. And if you're over here like, you know, well, you don't ever call me, or you don't ever consider me, or whatever, and making them feel bad, they're not going to want your love in exchange for feeling bad, for taking it, because you gave it or insisted, because you care. Give it because you want to give it and you care, or don't. Or don't. If you got a feeling they're not going to reciprocate and you really don't want to do it because you don't want to feel that way, then fucking don't. Love and nurture the people who give you love, time, and consideration. And if no one does, and that's the mirror you're looking at, if that's the divine mirror that you're looking at, that no one loves you and considers you, you love and consider everybody, but no one loves and considers you. You love and consider all your friends, but they don't love and consider you. You need to love yourself enough to find some new fucking friends. If no one loves you, you are not loving yourself. Trying to pull blood from stones. Trying to pull life force energy out of people that have no life force energy to give you. And how have you done that to other people without realizing it? People that did consider you, people that did think of you out of the blue, people that did call you up and want to talk about life and asked you how your day was, that you blew off, or were too busy talking about all the people that fuck you over, that you were talking their fucking ear off. They wanted to ask, they legitimately were hoping that you're happy and having a great day because they love you and care about you, and you're over there talking their fucking ear off about how miserable you are over all these other people, how these people don't give you the time of day, and you're literally wasting that person's time of day. Think about it, to where they stopped calling you. Maybe they're over here treating you to this or treating you to that, and you're over there worrying about all the things you treated other people for, and they didn't pay you back. They didn't reciprocate. And that person's sitting there like, wow, and I just bought this person lunch, and I just treated them to coffee, and I picked up their kids something, and they don't reciprocate to me ever. But they're buying and doing for all these other people who aren't reciprocating. What are you trying to control? Kronos and Hades are in Cancer. Think about that. And Hades and Pluto? Hades and Pluto are one and the same energy. Where is it? There it is. Hades and Pluto are one and the same energy. How are you taking out what you don't like on other people and embodying it yourself? How are you embodying what you don't like in other people and wish they would change? That's a fucking mirror, especially when it comes to your friends. Maybe they just want you to be happy for them. Be happy that they're happy. Be happy that they're living their best life. Achieving their dreams. How are you not doing that for yourself? How are you not being happy for you and who is in your life? Living your best life. Why are you caught up, right? Why are you caught up? How are you getting all super fucking upset? Instead of just living your best life with the people who care. When's the last time that you actually gave back on a consistent basis to anybody that was giving to you on a consistent basis? That includes your mother. Just think, because Cancer rules the house of home and the mother. What, you think your mother has to call you and see how you're doing because she's your mother? Because she don't. She could definitely be like everybody else and not give a shit and live her best life. She calls you up and asks you how you're doing. She don't fucking have to. When's the last time you initiated or reciprocated to your mom? It's a secret code name Yoda. You know, that big Yoda quote that I'm always saying is, you know, you do or do not. There is no try. Do or do not. There is no try. Who are you trying for? Well, I try and be there for this person that, you know, blah, 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 but I spend all my other time doing this. Bullshit, I just heard fucking excuses. Eight of Wands in the reverse, Three of Swords in the reverse. You're not listening to spirit, right? Blocking out spirit, trying to release grief and heartache. You're trying to avoid people hurting you, which is why you give to them more and nurture them more, because you don't want them to hurt you. But you're not listening to spirit, Eight of Wands in the reverse. Because you're avoiding trying to get hurt, which literally puts you in a position where you get hurt because you're not listening to spirit. You're not listening to your gut. Whoever you are nurturing and quote unquote wasting your time and energy on because they're not reciprocating. It is not a balanced and fair exchange of energy. It is one way. You're giving and they're taking. Or you've given, they've taken, and they're not reciprocating. They don't owe you shit. You feel owed. That's the problem. You don't want people to hurt you. You want to feel loved. Well, you are loved. Why do you feel like you need to be loved by them to prove that you're lovable? Over loving and over nurturing and over giving to people that are not reciprocating. To be fair, you can hate me for this. You don't have any right to be pissed at them. If they're not guided to give back to you, it's because you're learning a lesson about giving your energy to the right people. They're not meant to give back to you. Because a part of you knows you shouldn't have been over giving to them in the first place. All you're doing is giving yourself excuses for why you can't love the people that are actually loving you. The people that are pouring nurturance into you that you're not reciprocating to. This calls for reevaluation. Queen of Swords is on the bottom. Yeah, you've got to get back in touch with who you're most loyal to, because right now it's like the fucking devil. You're bound to the karmic shit. Princess of Coins. You have to create an opportunity in your own heart. You're not seeing who's loyal to you. You're trying to create people loyal to you. You're trying to create people loyal to you instead of looking at who's loyal to you already. You've got to seize the opportunity right in front of you to plant seeds where they're best suited to grow. That's like you having a plant that would grow great in the northern hemisphere, where there's 4 seasons and harsh winters. It's like taking a seed that's supposed to grow there and trying to plant it in the fucking desert. Well, I want it to grow in the desert. It would look so pretty in the desert. I'm sure it would. It ain't fucking meant to grow in the desert, though. You're trying to plant seeds where? Seeds that belong where? Where? someone's not meant for you, meant to love you, then you got to stop. You got to stop yourself from wasting your own time and energy. And then using it as an excuse to not love and give energy to the people who are trying to actually reciprocate and meant to love you. You're focused on the wrong people. Focused on the wrong people. Be grateful you gave the love you gave, that it helped them in whatever way it helped them. And just focus on the people that actually fucking matter now. Like, that's it. New dawn, new day. What friend did you grow apart from and not know why? Why did you really grow apart? Especially if you kind of miss them and the times you had. Why did those times stop? You got to go deep and reflect on that. Nurturing the self. Truly nurturing the self is knowing how to nurture the people that nurture you back. How to give love and energy to the people that give love to you back. Instead of focusing on the people that don't. And then getting upset about it. All right. Secret code name Sirius. Secret code name Sirius. Sirius like the constellation. All right, Spirit. Astro dice, please. What's the focus for this independence from the shadow? Saturn, Aries, 8th house. I'm hearing you are not your father. So even if you're a female guided to this message, you might share a lot of qualities with your dad, especially if your dad is stubborn-headed. Or if your father was quick to temper. Or overly passionate, went off like a rocket. You know what I mean? Over things. You've got to understand there are certain similarities that you share with your father that you are committed in this life to overriding. You learned it from your father. It doesn't mean it was right, and it doesn't mean you should keep doing it. Just because your father did it doesn't mean that you should. Just because your father thought it doesn't mean that you should. Just because your father did it, said it, acted that way does not mean it's okay. Like, if your father had a temper with you, it's not okay that you have a temper with other people. Like, you could say, well, my father had a temper. I got my temper from my father. No, you kept the temper that your father had. You didn't have to take it, and you didn't have to become it. You did. That was a choice. You have to choose something different. You have to be able to assert yourself over what you learned. If your father was controlling, you learned how to be controlling. It doesn't make it right. You're an individual, as is everybody else, including children, people younger than you. You can't control other people. with your temper. Getting indignant. You have to be able to assert yourself, capital S. Right now, Saturn's retrograding in Aquarius. Chiron and Eris are in Aries. You've got to be able to learn from the things that didn't feel good witnessing in other people, that it does not feel good for other people to witness you being the same way. Right? It's kind of like, and here's a great example. Let's just say a parent is an addict, and it hurt you to grow up with an addict for a parent. It hurt you to witness them, to feel unimportant or second to their addiction. It hurt to have an addict as a parent. Would it be okay then for you to also be an addict and hurt your children the same way, or hurt other people the same way? Just like your addict parent did, hurt everybody that they touched because their addiction was more important. Or do you choose to never be an addict because you recognize that being an addict hurts people that you love? Just because someone in your life had a temper does not make it okay for you to do the same, especially if it hurt you. If it hurt you to witness them, then it's hurting other people to witness you if you're the same way. You've got to choose different. You've got to choose different. You've got to undo that pattern. The Emperor, yeah, Aryan energy. You've got to be the ruler of your life. You've got to be able to choose what kind of legacy you leave behind. That's 8th house. You got to choose your legacy. Are you going to have the same legacy they had? The way you looked at them or resented them or were hurt by them? Or are you going to leave the same legacy for the other people in your life? That they would look back in hindsight and view you and talk about you and the legacy that you had in your life the same way? That legacy is yours? Yeah, you got to lay it to rest. You got daddy issues. You got to lay it to rest. 4 of Swords. When I say daddy issues, I don't just mean issues with your daddy. I mean issues that you inherited from your daddy and made them yours. Five of Coins, Temperance, and the 7 of Coins. Your children look up to you and you're sad or you're angry. Look at this card. You literally have a child looking up at the female who is distraught and distracted. The woman on this card is distraught and distracted and not paying attention to the child who is absolutely paying attention to them. You've got to be able to alchemate, integrate your better self, Call on your angels and focus on your tree, because that's what this card's doing. The feminine is focusing on the tree, and the tree is the family. You're distracted. You got to remember what it was like to be a kid and witness your parents fucking distracted. Because that's not okay. It hurt. It hurt to be a kid and witness your parents distracted and not focused on you or paying attention to you. Or even the fact that you were witnessing them, that they didn't even care that you were seeing them that way, thinking it was okay or that that was normal. That they taught you pain, anger, or being distraught is normal. You got to realize that you can grow something better. And it's going to take time, and it's going to be need your patience, and it's not going to happen overnight. But that you have to be willing to make the changes. You have to be willing to reap what you sow. You're going to reap what you sow. Especially if you do have strained relationships with your parents now, and it's because they're reaping what they sowed. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to reap what you sow. Especially because this card here, you see the woman in blue? It's no different than this card here. The woman in blue is in the background witnessing the emperor, witnessing the father. Now your children are witnessing you. It's no different. If you don't have children, it's the children in your life. You've got to lay that to rest. They always say, you know, too, like women attract a man just like their father. Yeah, but if you weren't keen on your father and your father hurt you, why the hell would you want to be with a man like that? Why would you want to be with a man just like your father who would hurt his children? Psychologically or emotionally, without realizing it. Why would you not make it a fucking point to be with a guy that's different? Outright. Why not find attentiveness attractive? Why not find considerateness attractive in your partner? If it was an unattractive quality in your father, don't accept it as an acceptable quality in your partner. Just because it's what's familiar. Get out of karmic shadows. Claim your independence from your karmic shadows. You are not your father, and you don't have to marry him. You don't have to commit to that ever. It's not attractive. It doesn't feel good. I hope that helps. All right. Secret code name, Starstruck. Secret code name, Starstruck. And those who would resonate to it or be drawn to it. What's going on with the cosmos and the astro dice, please? Claiming this independence from the shadow. North Node. 5th house, Libra. North Node is in Gemini. Libra has Mercury and Venus in there right now, and Venus is trining on Jupiter, who's retrograding in Aquarius. It's squaring Pluto, who's retrograding Capricorn, and it's sextiling on Estrella in Sag. Libra is opposing Aryan energy, and that's housing Chiron and Eris. 5th house is the house of sex and creativity and passion. It is a house that is natally ruled by Leo. It's where we have to allow our hearts to get really big, our energy to get really big, and you got to think about what's fair. You got to think about what's fair. Not everything is about you. Libran energy, facing the facts about what's fair. You got to understand too, what's good for you is good for other people. If they can't do it, then neither can you. And if you can do it, so can they. That's why the golden rule is so important. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Because you get what you give, right? You also have to realize and look at the facts of the matter that your soul has to be as light as a feather. Because Libran energy, if you think about Lady Justice holding the scales, on one side of the scale is a feather and on the other side is the soul. It is only balanced if you truly have no regrets, no guilt, no anger, no resentment, no fear, no doubt, no insecurities. If you feel like you coulda, shoulda, woulda done something better, then you have to make right by it. If you feel like you coulda, shoulda, woulda, gave more, did more, then you need to make right by it. It's like getting mad. It's, for an example, right? It's like getting mad at your job because your job gave you less hours, but your job gave you less hours because you kept showing up late, you kept clocking in late from lunch, taking extra minutes here or there. Your production is not up. You're not producing the numbers. So why the fuck would they give you more hours? Why wouldn't they cut your hours? You're not putting in the effort. Well, I've been at this job for 10 years. I deserve seniority, blah, blah, blah. I deserve hours. Yeah, but you're not putting up. You're not showing that you earned those hours. Now, after 10 years and you feeling entitled and bitching, they can't wait to see you leave, and they're hoping that hours cut sends you out the fucking door. You know what I mean? Don't complain, it's not fair if you ain't putting in the effort you're supposed to be putting in. Don't get mad if something isn't as successful as you want it to be because you're not putting in the fucking time. You're not putting in the time. That would be like, we'll use me as an example, right? And what I do for a living. I really wish I had 200,000 followers and blah. I wish I made this amount of money on YouTube, but you know, I'm only going to go live once every 6 months. And then wonder why I don't have 200,000 followers. It's no different. Why would anybody have 200,000 followers if they only go live twice a fucking year? You know what I mean? You can't bitch about not seeing the reward of efforts that never been put out. What's fair is fair. You got to face the reality. You get what you give. Doesn't matter what you've been putting in and what you put in before or for how long. Matters what you're putting in now. Are you consistent or inconsistent? Are you improving or are you digressing? What are you doing? What are you expecting? Are you living in the past or are you living in the now because you see a certain future? Are you actively building towards that future or are you waiting for it to fall on your lap? What do you deserve? For what effort? Inconsistency, what effort? It's time to face the reality. Your heart and your mind's got to be in it. Venus and Mercury in Libra, your heart and your mind has to be in it. What does this look like, Spirit? Insights, please. Yeah, you're confused about why something's not showing up. especially if it's an emotional offer. Like you're wondering why someone hasn't expressed. It's like let's just say, wondering why someone hasn't expressed love to you, why they haven't expressed commitment. Well, what in your actions, because actions speak louder than words, show that you are committed to them, and would they perceive it that way? Temperance is on the bottom with the Moon card. 8 of Cups is on the top. You might quit too easy. Think about that. You might quit too easy. Well, they're not telling me that they love me, or expressing that they love me, or blah, 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 so I'm becoming distant. I'm not putting in any more effort because they're not telling me or showing me. I'm not going to put in any more effort. And then you wonder why they're not communicating it with you, that they care about you, appreciate you, love you, whatever, because you backed off. You stopped doing what you were doing to achieve the result you saw in your mind's eye. You stopped doing it. You were inconsistent. You were giving and then you stopped. Well, who would commit to something inconsistent? Well, they were giving to me and now they're not. They get confused because your energy is confused. Underlying issue you have to come to terms with: your moon. Moon energy. This is about, if you think about the light wolf and the dark wolf in that ancient Native American folklore myth about which wolf in the mind that you feed, fear or love. You're feeding fear. Well, they might not love me. I'm afraid that I'm going to give all this love and they're not going to love me back, so I'm going to take it away. You're feeding the fear instead of feeding the love, the faith, the trust. I know if I love this person no matter what, and I continue to be consistent in my love, it'll be seen. It'll be felt. I'm not confused about how I feel about them, and I'm not going to let my actions reflect that I'm confused about how I feel about them. How many times have you walked away and quit? This isn't emotionally fulfilling the way I thought, so I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit. I'm going to pull back. We're talking about effort. Talking about effort and passion. You quit on your passion, to be fair, and then wonder why it's not there. If you love someone, you love someone. If you'd pull it back, it's because your love is conditional. Well, my love is conditional now. I'm not going to love you in case you love me back. That's conditional. Conditional love is not love at all. It's fear. There's unconditional love, which is love, and then there's quote unquote unconditional love. I mean, conditional love. There's unconditional love and conditional love, and conditional love is just another way of saying fear. You're telling yourself in your mind that you love somebody, but it's conditional, which means you're afraid. It's not unconditional if it's conditional, and it's not love if it's fear. What are you feeding? Are you feeding fear, or are you feeding love? I hope that helps, because that is how you gain independence from your karmic shadows. Committing. If you love someone, love them. Your actions shouldn't shift, change, whatever. If you love them, you love them. If you would withdraw your love because you're not getting something in return, then your love is conditional and you're acting from a state of fear. Nothing good comes from that vibration. Nothing good comes from a fear vibration. Yeah. That leads to the fucking devil energy, repeating karmic shadows and feeling sad and alone and left out and distracted. Secret code name Starstruck. Hope that helps. All right. Secret code name Raven. Secret code name Raven. Astro dice, please. Spirit, how do we gain them independence from their shadow? What do they need to recognize? Neptune in Pisces, 4th house. Neptune is in Pisces right now, retrograding. 4th house is in the home. Neptune rules illusions and lessons unlearned. Lessons left unlearned. 4th house, it's in regards to the home and the mother. Illusions or delusions you have about your mother. Surrounding your mother. Could also be idolizations that should not be idolized. To be fair, it could also be escapism. Neptune in Pisces could definitely be escapism. Being passive aggressive as shit. You might have learned that from your mother. Being passive aggressive. Saying one thing but meaning another, or saying one thing and actually feeling the opposite, like your mother always said, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, when they weren't fucking fine. When your mother needed help and said, no, I got it, instead of saying, yes, I need help. Yes, it's too much on me. No, I could take care of it, I could handle it, I could handle it, and they can't fucking handle it. Too much. You might idolize your mother for saying and taking that, you know, they could take it on. Yeah, I could handle it all. I could take it on. I could do it. But your mother was breaking down. And you might idolize your mother for being strong and taking on the whole burden when really it's a detriment. And now you think, because you idolize your mom in that way, right? As an example, idolize your mom in that way. Admire her for being a strong person who took it all themselves, and you're trying to do that. Take it all on yourself when you need fucking help. It's okay to need help. There's nothing wrong with admitting that you can't put the weight of the world on your shoulders. There is nothing wrong with saying, I am not willing to run myself into the ground, that I am having a breakdown, or that I am crashing. Because that leads to wanting to run away. That leads to wanting to escape. That leads to suicidal ideations and wishing it would all just end because you don't know how you can handle it. And you've already set up this premise that you're so capable and strong and you can do it all. And there's this facade, illusion, right? Which is what Pisces rules. It's illusion. This illusion that you can carry it all, this facade that you're fine when you're not. Pisces polar opposite sign is Virgo. Having to take the steps, having to be critical of the self. Where am I failing myself? Where am I putting too much on myself? How am I putting too much on other people? Maybe if I want it done right, I got to do it myself. If I got a problem with it, then it's my problem and I got to find the solution. If it's not bothering anybody else, it's not bothering anybody else. But if it's bothering me, then it's my problem and it's nobody else's business to find the solution. It's my job to find the solution. That's like being pissed that the trash hasn't gone out and it's not bothering anybody else, but it's bothering you. Take the trash out. If you're too busy because you're doing other things, hey, so-and-so, Grab the trash for me. It's full. I'm doing this and I can't do it right now. It needs to go out. Just fucking say it. Say it. Just say it out loud. You don't have to do everything. You need help with the dishes? You might have the dishes 6 days a week, but today you had a long fucking day and thinking about the dishes is stressing you out on top of every other thing that you have to do that nobody else can do because it's a you thing that you have to do. Ask somebody to help you with the dishes. It's like, hey, I usually get the dishes, but tonight I got XYZ or I am so fucking beat and I'm feeling gross. I need a shower. And I don't want to be doing the dishes at 11 o'clock at night. Will I hop in the shower? Can you do the dishes for me real quick? If there's that one disgusting pan that you know dang right well they don't want to clean, listen, you can leave that crazy fucked up pan in there. I'll get there tomorrow. I just need the rest of the dishes done. Can you handle that? I'll say, sure. Sure. It's not all on you. It's not all on you. Neptune and Pisces, 4th house. Neptune is semi-squaring Saturn retrograde in Aquarius right now. You got to see the higher perspective, the order of it. Other people might have to learn to be responsible to their home and taking care of their home. And you are learning that it is not all on you. It's not all on you. People can help and you can ask for it. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be fucking superwoman. You can just be fucking human. You're human. You are not superhuman. You're just human. Spirit, what does this independence look like? What is breaking off and gaining independence from this shadow energy? Help us understand. Help us understand. Give us some insight, please. Secret code name Raven. Like literally, learn from your ancestors, Raven energy. Yeah, 8 of Swords. You're trapped in your own reflection. You might have seriously trapped yourself in this idea that you're Superwoman. And you're not thinking clearly as far as like the Lover's card being a Mercurial card, a partnership card, that you are not alone. You think you're alone and you're not alone. You're looking in the mirror in this prison that you're alone and you are not alone and you're not seeing it that way. You're thinking that it's all on you. When you have people who are partnered with you, whether it's a romantic partnership or a kin partnership or a roommate partnership or a project partnership, whatever the ship is, you got to get on the ship and stop thinking you're swimming alone. Get on the ship. Get on board with the ship. You don't got to get there by yourself. Bottom of the deck is the 8 of Wands. Listen to Spirit. Ace of Wands. Allow your soul to reignite. We got 3 root chakra cards here. You got to trust. You got to trust you will feel so much fucking better. When you start taking those steps forward. Because if you look at this Ace of Wands, woman in the red dress is at the bottom of the steps, right? She's at the bottom of a staircase. And if you look in this 8 of Wands cards, listening to Spirit, the steps transform into wands. Wands is the suit of fire. It's the suit of Spirit. Spirit will be your staircase and lead you up the right path. Spirit will take you higher. Listen to your spirit will take you higher. If your spirit's telling you you can't take on anymore and you're going to break, your spirit's letting you know you need help. Ask for it. You need help. Ask. You're not weak for needing help and expressing that you need help when you need it. You're not weak. You're stronger than, let's say, your mother. You're stronger than your mother, who wasn't strong enough to ask for help when she needed it and broke instead. You're stronger because you choose not to break. You recognize the value of the, quote, ships in your life, and that you're all working together as one, instead of thinking that you are just one alone by yourself. It takes strength to recognize that you are a piece of a working unit. It's all good to not be the only piece that matters. Because to be fair, the engine in the car ain't gonna go anywhere without the goddamn belt. The trans goes, the car don't fucking run. The brakes go, it's gonna fucking crash. Every piece inside the car is important or it doesn't fucking run right. It's not one huge piece that makes the whole car run. It's many different pieces. They all have a purpose. Some are bigger, more expensive to replace. Some of them are small, but just as important. Just as important. You got someone whose chore can be to take out the trash, and you just got to remind them it's trash night. You got to take the trash out. Do it now. Whatever you're doing, pause it. Stop what you're doing. Doesn't matter. It's trash night. That's your thing. You got to take it out. Now you don't got to think about the trash ever again. And that little teeny piece is important to your piece. That little teeny piece, P-I-E-C-E, is important to your piece, P-E-A-C-E. Little piece, important. Can easily be replaced. Somebody else can take on that fucking chore for the day. Don't matter. But if you're the engine, you got more important shit to do than worry about being the belt too. You know? You don't got to worry about being the engine and the transmission and the fucking brake system. Let someone else be that role. Work as a unit. I hope that helps. Yeah. Move on to calmer mental peace. Six of Swords, move on to mental peace. Move forward. Life can be mentally peaceful. You don't got to make yourself fucking crazy. Say what you mean and mean what you say, or don't say it. You say you're fine, be fucking fine. And if you're not fine, say you're not fine and you need some fucking help to be fine. Period. Don't expect people to mind read. Don't expect people to volunteer. You gotta fucking tell them, you tell them. And as long as they do it, great. Great. Powerpuff. Secret code name. Powerpuff. And those who would resonate to it. And I literally saw the Powerpuff Girls. Like, that was the visual Spirit gave me in my mind's eye for this code name. So secret code name, Powerpuff. You resonated to this message. How do we free you from your karmic shadow? How do we give you independence, right? To be in your light. 8th house, Moon, Scorpio. Scorpio natally rules to 8th house. The moon, Scorpionic moons are known for being their own worst enemy and sabotaging themselves probably harder than any other Scorpionic placement short of Pluto and Scorpio. They got to be really conscious of victim mentality and teaching that victim mentality to their children, or that they would be the victim, right? Or that you would learn, Like your parent is the victim. Maybe one of your parents was abusive to the other, and you looked at one of your parents like they were the victim of the other parent. Like, for example, maybe the mother was extremely emotionally and psychologically abusive to your father. Right? Just using an example. And you looked at your father like the victim of that relationship. And now you've attracted relationships where you're the victim because you felt for the victim. The victim deserves love. The victim deserves to be loved. The victim doesn't deserve to be abused. And that's what you've identified with as their child. Especially because 8th house is children and legacy, what we inherit from our parents and what we give as a legacy after we die. What is left? What have we left behind? What image? What beliefs? Did you take on victim mentality? Did you idolize their light attributes, right? And using the example of the abused father who was loving and deserved to be loved. Maybe they worked really hard. Maybe they brought in all the money. Maybe they were the breadwinner. Maybe they tried to nurture your mother too, but she was just fucking nuts. And hell or high water, he would never leave her. Because he loves her, even if she's fucking psycho. And you admire how strong the love and the commitment was. Did you inherit being attracted to fucking crazy ass individuals that you become the victim of? Are you teaching that to the people who witness you, who are younger than you, like kids? Yours or otherwise. Because you might not have kids, but you can go over to your friend's house and bitch about your abusive partner and how much you love them and you stay. And that person's kids, your best friend who you're going over and bitching to, their kids, even though they're just 4, love you when you come over and you love them, but then they listen to how hurt you are for forever. And 4-year-olds are 4-year-olds, but they're not fucking stupid. They know you're hurt. They know you're talking about somebody that you love that hurts you. If that's all they can fucking process. Well, if so-and-so loves them and so-and-so hurts them, then I guess that's okay to love someone and be hurt. Just like you learned from your parents, it's okay to love someone and be hurt by them, to be abused by them, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, physically, financially. What did you inherit? Who was the victim in your life that you witnessed growing up? Who was the victim? Now, how are you just like them? And if they're hurt and you're hurt, how is that okay? If it wasn't okay that they were hurt and they deserved love and they deserved somebody who treated them better, why don't you deserve that? Why don't the children in your experience deserve to learn that? That when someone hurts you and abuses you, you deserve better, so you fucking leave. You do not tolerate that shit. You don't kill yourself or anybody. Metaphorically speaking, or literally speaking. You don't run yourself into the ground and break your fucking back for anybody. You don't take on the poison someone's giving you, ever. If it's poison, it's poison. If it's toxic, it's toxic. This is addressing how you're toxic to yourself by being in a victim mindset and thinking that you don't deserve better enough to let yourself be free of the toxicity to go get better. Go get better. If you don't deserve it and they're toxic as fuck, leave. Figure it out. God knows If you have to live in your vehicle until you find a place to go, then be blessed that you got a fucking vehicle and can take off and find a place to go. Because I guarantee you, if you choose better for yourself and you know you deserve better, there are going to be people out there who love you that are willing to help you because you committed to deserving better, that you let that toxic shit go. They're not going to give you a place to stay if you might run back to bullshit. But if they know you're done with that toxic bullshit, they will absolutely help you get on your feet. And there's a huge difference. People will help you when they know you're committed to bettering your life. They won't help you if they think you're just going to run the fuck back. You got to say goodbye to bullshit. King Coins, mastering the reality. You've got to master your reality. And you certainly can't let money control you and stability control you, because King of Coins can be very Taurian, Capricornian energy. Taurian energy is the opposite of Scorpio. You might have to get your spending under control. You might have to like really create that stability for yourself. If you want to get out of toxic, you might have to seriously create your own stability and choose to end self-sabotage. If you can't get out of a toxic relationship because you got a fucking spending habit and you can't save $1 in your account to free yourself, think about that. Then you're enjoying being the victim so much that you don't care to actually change your spending habits and save yourself some money so that you can be free of it. My car is breaking down. I don't know what to do. Stop spending money on bullshit so that when your car does go, you have enough money to fix it or replace it. Now you're not the victim anymore. You knew the car was going to be on its way out, so you started saving money wherever you had to fucking save it. You stopped spending it on whatever you had to stop spending it on that was unimportant, because your car is more important than takeout. Your car is more important than a movie you bought on Amazon or the new clothes you just ordered. Your car is more important. The rest of that shit can fucking wait. That movie will always be on Amazon for you to rent or buy. Those clothes there will always be more clothes that you could buy. You can always make a box of pasta and buy a can of sauce for $5 instead of ordering out dinner and spending $50 fucking on takeout. Save your money. Don't stress over not being able to fix or replace your car. Where are you sabotaging yourself? Yeah, it might just be the home and the family. Do you not deserve better? Because we got the 10 coin here. This is the happily painted family on the picture. And the treasure chest here. It's like, what do you want? What do you want? Are you just focused on the stability, or do you want the happiness? Do you want the convenience of money, or do you want to feel whole? Part of a family unit where you're fucking happy. What do you want? What do you want? Can you not have both? Can you not have financial stability and be happy with the family that you're a part of? Why do you have to sacrifice one for the other? Why? Why can't someone love you and support you? And why can't you love yourself and support yourself? Because that's the mirror. Yeah, 9 of Wands, Wounded Warrior, victim card, has to heal. You've got to be able to reestablish your joy and your spirit. Taking initiative to reinvent yourself, moving forward and loving yourself, energy, creating magic in your life so that you can shine. Knight of Wands, Chariot, Magician, and the Sun. If you're not fucking happy, you're not fucking happy, and you got to fix it. You got to solve it. You've got to be able to spark. You've got to be able to reinvent yourself. You've got to be able to shed the old skin and leave it in the fucking dust. That's not who you are anymore. The victim is not who you are anymore. You're not problem focused, you're solution oriented. Instead of focusing on the problems, be solution oriented and focus on the solutions. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Temperance, again, on the bottom of the deck. This card has come out in so many fucking readings, it ain't even funny. You've got to create your own opportunity. Or you're going to miss opportunities. You got to create your own opportunities or you're going to miss opportunities. Straight up. All right. Secret code name. Violet Ray. Secret code name Violet Ray. Google the Violet Ray. When you're done watching, of course. Google the Violet Ray. All right. Spirit. How do they gain independence from their karmic shadow? How do they get out of their shadow, out of karmic cycles? How do they get out of pain cycles? Claiming independence. 10th house, Aries, Moon. Straight up, I just heard stop being pissed at your friends because they don't perceive things the same way you do. They don't see things from your point of view because they're not you. You can't be mad at them for that. You can't hold that against them. Just like you are your own self and you wouldn't necessarily take the advice on how to live your life, you can't expect other people to take your advice on how to live theirs. Can't. Tenth house is friendships, goals, and dreams. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It rules the house of self. It also rules the head. And the moon is being in flux. Like the tides, the changing of the tides has its light side and its dark side. The nice thing about Aries energy is it's down for whatever. It's always down to try a new adventure, try something new, stand up for the small guy. The downside of Aries is they're extremely impulsive. They could be hot-headed, short-tempered. Be quick to pick a fight. Shadow Aries also has a hard time believing in themselves. It's an I am capable mantra that needs to be addressed. An I am capable affirmation. It's a leading by example, not by dictating. Aries is meant to lead by example, not by dictating. Because the trap that a lot of Aries energy can fall into, especially Aries moon, is telling people how to best live their life, but not taking their own advice. You have to be able to take your own advice. If you're giving advice, you better be applying it in your mirror to your own life. Because that's the way to achieve your dreams. That's the way to achieve your goals, 10th house. That's how you earn respect. That's when people start to listen to you, because you take your own advice and it gives results. Taking your own advice and living in your own advice yields results. You want to get out of your shadow. You want to get out of karma and be independent of the shadow so that you can just be in your light, being yourself. Then you've got to be able to take your own advice and lead by example. And if you're, because to be fair in the mirror, if you're pissed at other people, it's because a part of you is pissed at yourself. You're not applying the same advice that you're giving. And you might be giving relationship advice to somebody else, and you might have no issues with your partner, you know what I mean, in your relationship. But if you're telling them they have to get real and face the music, then you also have to get real and face the music about something in your life, partner or otherwise. You got to get real with yourself, whether it's a friendship, a family dynamic, your job, whatever it is, and you got to get real with yourself. You're telling someone you're not facing the music, you got to get real with yourself. What do you need to get real with yourself about? What do you need to face the music about? Is it your finances? Like, what is it? Because if you can give the advice, a certain part of you has to be able to take it. Or it's just going to fall on deaf ears and you're going to get pissed because for you, you were also, that advice is falling on deaf ears and you're pissed at yourself, right? It's like, how can you get pissed at other people for not taking good advice when you don't take good advice either? You don't take your own advice. Insight, please, Spirit. Gaining independence from the karmic shadow. Secret code name, the Violet Ray. Knight of Coins in the reverse. This is about not proceeding with caution. The Knight of Coins is cautious and takes their time. You might be way too anxious and rushing to decisions. You might be super judgmental and not realize it. Don't shoot the messenger, okay? King of Coins. Knight of Coins in the reverse and the King of Coins. It's almost like wanting everything to be the way you want it to be yesterday. And being impulsive or reckless in your choices or your actions or your words because you're not being patient with people. Or accepting of people, that people are healing in their own time. It's like getting frustrated with people in life because it's not the way you wanted it to be yesterday. And that's in the mirror is just you being frustrated with yourself because you're not where you want to be right now yesterday. Five of Wands. Five of Wands is his internal conflict. This is the internal conflict where your head and your heart are not in agreement and they're arguing. You might be doing what makes sense to your head, expressing what makes sense to your head, but you're not listening to your heart. You're not letting your heart put the brakes on and stop you from saying or doing impulsive things. It just makes sense to you. It makes sense to you or it doesn't make sense to you. And you're expressing that, but you're not thinking about the ramifications of what you're expressing or where it's coming from, why, you know what I mean? This is internally conflicted. You're not thinking about why you feel certain things. You have to be able to look in the mirror and figure out where the internal conflict is because the outer just reflects the inner. The outer experience is only reflecting what's going on inside. That's how you change fate. That's how you change your fortune. That's heart chakra right here with the Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter energy. Jupiter is in Aquarius. You've got to be able to see the bigger picture. Go back, right? Jupiter retrograde. You've got to be able to go back and see the bigger picture. the blessings of it all, seeing it from a different perspective, a higher perspective, Aquarian energy. If you were spirit using a divine mirror to teach you about what's going on inside the self, with the self, what would you show you? If you're frustrated with yourself, how is spirit going to show you? You're going to be frustrated with someone else. It's going to frustrate you to witness them. Spirit's like, see, look in the mirror. If you're frustrated with them, witnessing them, then you have to understand how you're frustrated with yourself. Spirit uses the divine mirror as a tool. The inner reflects in the outer, it's a tool. If you're not happy with your experience and it's reflecting in the outer, how are you not happy here with the experience that you're creating for yourself here? Where are you not all right? Are you not all right snapping at someone? As much as you want to say what you want to say, is that the right way to say it? As much as you're frustrated with somebody, expressing your frustration or getting upset, is that really the right way to go about it? Because looking in the mirror, you can slide a mirror between you and anybody you are having a conversation with. And if that reflection shows someone upset, frustrated, angry, whatever, it's because you're upset, frustrated, angry with yourself. Because you're always in divine communication with yourself. Always. It's just you conversing with you in the outer experience. Metaphorically speaking. Yes, there's other people and they are not you. But the dynamic in the experience is reflecting from an internal state of energy. When you understand that, and you can express peace, and you can express love, and you can show mercy and compassion, crown chakra, when you can show mercy and compassion and put your ego to the side, because it's not about you when it comes to, like, for them, it's not about how you feel about them. It's how what they're doing brings up feelings in you for you to understand. Whatever their problems are, it's not your problem, it's theirs. If you got a problem witnessing them, then what are you frustrated with in yourself, right? That's the bottom line. Aries is about the self. The shadow self. Where are you angry at yourself or frustrated with yourself? Short with yourself? Where are you not giving yourself mercy and compassion? Why burn bridges? Why light things on fire that don't need to be lit? Hope that helps. I do hope that helps. Why light fires that don't need to be lit? All right. Secret code name, Oriental Lily. Secret code name, Oriental Lily. And those who would resonate to it and be drawn to it. Spirit, what do they need to be aware of? Claiming their independence from their karmic shadow cycles. How do they free themselves from their shadow and be in their light? In and of, right? Saturn, 12th house, Capricorn. Really, I heard this song, it just flew into my head. I have, you really got a hold on me, really got a hold, really got a hold on me. You know, I don't even know who sings that. 12th house is the house of illusion and self-undoing. It's self-undoing. Capricorn and Saturn. Saturn is the planet in which is ruled by Capricorn. Okay. Saturn and Capricorn and Tarot are linked to the devil energy. And the devil card is where we can take the chains off from around our necks and choose not to. We can easily get out of the karmic situation we're in and choose not to. Whose claws did you let sink into you? That they really got a hold on you? And I'm talking on a soul level. To clarify, I'm talking on a soul level. The 12th house, the opposite side of the zodiac, the sister house, is the 6th house of health and service. Who taught you that you were not capable? Who told you to listen to them? Because if you don't listen to them, you're going to fuck it up. Trust me. Take my advice. Trust me. Don't trust yourself. Trust me. Who was that person? You could feel a certain way and believe something with your whole soul, and they said, trust me. Nope, you got to trust me. That you would have denied your soul and trusted them. That you learned not to trust yourself and to trust them instead. Who sunk their claws in your psyche and got a hold on you? The miracles, there you go. Thank you. It's almost like knowing. Here's an interesting example. It's like always knowing you wanted to be a mom and have a big family. And just be a stay-at-home mom and love your kids, and that's what you always wanted. You just wanted to be a mom. You wanted to have a big family with a lot of kids and just be a mom. And someone told you, no, in this day and age, you have to work hard. There's not enough people out there to make enough money to support a big family. A big family is unrealistic. Trust me. Kids are expensive. Trust me. You don't want a big family. But all you ever wanted was a big family and to be a stay-at-home mom. That's unreasonable. There's no such thing as a single income family anymore. Both parents have to work. Life's too expensive. So you just went to work and started working. You've been slaving away at work, and you wouldn't have time to have a family right now if you wanted to. And you always wanted one. Maybe you attracted a partner who can't or don't want to have kids. And you're letting that dream go, the fact that you want to be a mother and raise a big family, go because it's unrealistic anyway. And you're with a partner that you don't really actually love. And you're not achieving a dream you actually want to achieve because someone told you it was unrealistic, and that stuck in your psyche. You always feel like you were meant to be a mother and have a big family and stay at home. Why can't you meet a partner who makes enough money to make that happen, who loves you and the idea that you would stay home and raise their children and give them a legacy and a huge family? Who's to say that that person doesn't exist? Maybe it's someone who grew up with the idea of having to make a lot of money, and they always wanted to make a lot of money, but they lived and grew up in a 2-parent working household and were always alone as a kid. Grew up an only child, always wished they had siblings. And then they meet you, who wants to be a stay-at-home parent and raise a lot of kids, and to them that sounds amazing. That they would have you in their life and you would be willing to stay home and raise beautiful children and more than just one. Because they know they wouldn't wish being an only child on anybody, right? An example. Just an example. Who's sunk their claws into your psyche and said that is unrealistic? Trust me. Shoot for this goal. Shoot for that goal. Don't listen to yourself. Don't listen to your soul. It's wrong. It's unrealistic. Because that's what we're addressing. Saturn and Capricorn in the 12th house. Like maybe your father, right, as an example, couldn't afford to take care of a big family with a lot of kids. Maybe your mother wanted to work. Maybe your mother didn't want to have a lot of kids. And so being with a partner who didn't need to earn that kind of money because having a big family with a stay-at-home wife was not the goal, doesn't mean you have to attract a man the same way. If you do, you know what I mean? Want to be that person who has a lot of children and stays at home to take care of their kids. Miracle's mindset. Yeah, miracle mindset. Miracle mindset. Absolutely. If that's your dream, you got to believe that not only is it possible, that it is realistic and that you can have it. Because that's what you want. That's what you want. It is possible. Shoot for your fucking dream. Love yourself enough to go for it. Love yourself enough to go for it. Saturn being in Aquarius, you got to see the bigger picture. Just because someone else didn't believe it. If they didn't believe it, that's why they didn't achieve it. That wasn't their goal, that's why they didn't go after it. But if you believe it, you can achieve it. And if that is your goal, you will fucking nail that like a bullseye. Because that's what you're aiming for. That's what you want. Doesn't mean you won't work and earn your own money in your own way in the meantime, but when push comes to shove, if you talk to the partner who you love and you're in a position where you can let your job go to raise kids and your partner is down, why the fuck not? Why not? Your partner might be super fucking stoked. They might be thanking their lucky stars they took this high-paying job that they can afford to let you stay home. God knows I had met one. I was with a guy for a while who was like, Grace, you don't need to work. I'd prefer if you stayed home and took care of the kids. Actually told me outright, and I wanted to work. I wanted to work. I didn't want to stay home at the time. I didn't want to be that at the time. They exist. They fucking exist. That's the point. They exist. If you have it in your mind that that's what you want, it exists. You got to believe it. You got to believe it. It's fucking real. It's not impossible. It's not unrealistic. It's your fucking soul's dream. That's your soul's calling. That's what visualizing feels great to think about. Then just focus on that. It's real. It's real. Spirit, I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I trust you. I trust you, because the only thing that feels fucking amazing in my soul to visualize is exactly that. So I got to believe that's possible. And just because I don't know how it's possible doesn't mean it's not. So I trust you. You'll show me. You'll show me how possible it is. Yeah, Queen of Coins, 10 of Wands. Your soul burden comes, I think, from feeling like you have to be a top fucking earner, that you have to earn as much as your partner in order to be happy. That's what has to transform the Death card. That's what has to transform. Thinking that you have to put in equal on the financial scale when that asks you to sacrifice your actual soul's dream. There is nothing wrong with wanting to stay home and raise a family, right? It just requires effort. That's all it is. That's all it is. You don't have to be equal. Because to be fair, there are 5 forms of currency, okay? And this was posted on my Facebook page, Divine Rebel Readings, for the longest time. I literally just switched it like last week. There's 5 forms of currency. There's physical, which includes financial world, money shit. There's emotional, mental, time, which is the currency of the soul. There's different ways to exchange with people. Someone might put in more financial energy into the relationship. You might put in more mental or emotional energy into the relationships. One person might nurture and provide for the house, and the other one might provide children. Love is a currency. Giving love, nurturance, affection, truth, compassion, for all that they give financially, you might give that equally in love of them and support of them and their children. That you would love and nurture them and their children, and they would never have to worry about anybody using them, leaving them, betraying them, abusing them, whatever. They love the fact that you're fucking loyal to them and their family that they created with you. And that's priceless. No different than the fact that they create a stable environment for you to do all of those things is priceless. Just because you have 2 different love languages doesn't mean they're not the same fucking language. Because whether you're speaking it in French or you're speaking it in Spanish, you could say the same fucking thing in both languages, but it's the same thing. I love you and te amo is the same fucking thing. Both means I love you. Just different fucking languages. It's no different. You don't have to put in the same currency in order for it to mean the same thing. You follow? Don't burden yourself. Also, Capricorn energy can also deal with being controlling, and when you try and control other people, it might be where you sabotage yourself the worst. That's your self-undoing, right? 12th house. Trust a little more. Release control. Trust. Release control. Because when you try and control things and you try and drive all of your relationships, it doesn't work out. You have to know that the currency you're putting on the table is equal and appreciated. It's almost like the complete opposite end of the spectrum where you know you don't put in the same amount of money as your partner and you're narcissistic, trying to get them to validate how much they love you when they're the one providing your roof and every other fucking thing. Like, that ain't proof enough. Of all the people they could provide for, they choose to be you. You can release control. You can recognize that what you're investing is equal. You don't have to control anybody or have anybody validate anything. It's already validated. It's already validated. The reality is the reality. I hope that helps. I hope that helps, because that is how you gain independence from your karmic shadow. New moon in Virgo, right? Independence readings, independent from the shadow. That's how you get out of karmic cycles. Trusting a little more. Trusting in your soul a little more. Everything happens for a reason. You're not meant to be with somebody. You're not meant to be with somebody. especially if you're sacrificing your goals or your dreams to be with them because someone told you it was unrealistic anyway. And that's the clause in the psyche, right? Let it go. All right. Secret code name Jawnski. Secret code name Jawnski. Spirit, please. For Jawnski and those who resonate to the secret code name. What do we need to understand in order to gain independence from the shadow? Independence from karmic cycles, pain cycles. How do we gain independence from those, please? 7th house. Moon, Scorpio. 7th house is partnerships. The moon or the shadow side of Scorpio, and like I said, Scorpio moons can be the most self-sabotaging sign of the zodiacs. They could be afraid someone's going to cheat on them. They could be volatile, emotionally volatile, right? Eruptive. Especially if they want someone to prove that they care about them, like, don't be upset. You know I love you. I would never do that, right? They could also deal with addictions and escaping. Now, Pisces is known a lot for, like, hallucinogenics and drinking, but Scorpio is known for just about every kind of addiction that there is. Scorpio can dive into all kinds of drugs or other escape substances, right? From speed to alcohol to hallucinogenics to sex addictions to shopping addictions, like even being addicted to the victim mentality, addicted to the instant gratification, because Scorpio is a sign of extremes. It's intense. Scorpio can be an intense sign in its shadow. It can feel bipolar. I mean, scorpionic energy in its shadow can definitely feel or come off bipolar, going from one extreme to the next. Having to understand how you go through extremes in your relationships, how you're all or nothing, and how you expect all or nothing. Scorpionic energy can expect or be in an all or nothing mindset when that's not really fair. It's not really fair because partnerships in balance are 50-50. You believe in yourself and I'll believe in you. You believe in me, I believe in myself too. Not you got to believe in me 100% because I don't believe in myself at all. You know, you kind of follow? Like, you've got to be able to believe in yourself as a beautiful partner that can be committed to. That you have beautiful qualities worth committing to. And you don't need them to go above and beyond extra to make up for where you don't believe in yourself, or don't love or approve of yourself, or don't feel good enough or better than someone else yourself. Scorpionic moon can have an issue playing the violin. Like, their life is so hard when really they are the ones that's making it hard. It's almost like complaining they don't have a job and they don't know what to do and they're going to lose their home. And really it's because they're too proud to work at this place, or too proud to work at this place, or they don't want to work 2 jobs, or they don't want to downgrade their vehicle and get rid of their $600 a month car payments with insurance. You know what I mean? Like, Scorpio moons have a lot of excuses and a lot of, yeah, I want this, but I'm not willing to do that. Like, I love this person, but I'm not willing to believe that they love me too. I would never cheat on them, but I'm not willing to believe they would never cheat on me. That's kind of where you have to understand, like, I believe in you and I believe in myself. Partnerships are 50-50. I believe in my love for you and I believe in your love for me. I believe that I love myself. I'm a good person. I love who I am. I wouldn't change a thing about me. My good qualities, I love them. And I know and believe that you love me for all those same reasons too, because I'm a good person. You love me because I would never betray you. You love me because I'm considerate. You love me because I'm empathic and I feel deeply for you and I consider you when you don't even realize it. That I'm doing things to make your life easier. I gotta believe that you know it and you see it and you appreciate it, even if you're not expressing it, because I believe in myself and the value of that. I believe in the value of who I am and what I do and what I bring to the table. I'm not worried about you cheating on me because there's nobody else in this world like me that you could possibly replace me with. Scorpio loves deep. We're talking about 7th house partnerships. Scorpio loves deep. They take it on as their responsibility to love someone, no matter how wounded they are. They look at that person's heart like it's mine to love. It's my heart that I love in them. It's my heart. And I'm going to love it and I'm going to nurture it and I'm going to make sure it never breaks. But they don't actually see the value in what that is. That they would take someone's heart and claim the responsibility to never let it break, to never dishonor it. And they can get jealous over little things. Well, maybe that person's prettier than me, or maybe that person has a better body than me, or maybe that person's less of an emotional wreck, or maybe that person makes more money than I do. And they might be prettier than you or make more money than you or whatever the fuck else, but that doesn't mean they're going to replace you. Because that person might not look at their heart and cherish it and nurture it and make sure it never fucking breaks, ever. And that might be more valuable to your person than anything else anybody else could bring to the table. Because ain't nobody else loving their heart like you. You understand? Scorpionic moon sabotages themselves by not realizing their own value. Not realizing what they're capable of. It's like, for example, right, for example, not being happy with your weight, but not being willing to stop eating like shit. Well, I'm afraid my partner's going to leave me because my body isn't as best as it could be, but you're not willing to stop eating like shit or fit in a 5-minute exercise routine. But you're going to continue to be in fear state instead of do something to improve it. Well, I'm not an exercise person. I've never been. Or I would never give up chocolate. Are you sure? Is the chocolate more valuable than letting go of the fear? Over not looking your best? Maybe you eat chocolate and your skin breaks out. And then you feel really insecure because your skin's broken out. Is the chocolate fucking worth it? Or would you rather not feel insecure about your face and your skin anymore? What are you willing to shift to create stability? Because the sister sign of Scorpio is Taurus. The beauty and the stability and the gratitude for being able to create it for yourself. How can you gain patience with yourself? How can you say, okay, slow and steady wins the race. It's going to take time to get myself out of this intense all or nothing roller coaster high-low mindset. It's going to take me some time to accept the fact that who I am is beautiful and valuable in and of itself, that I am not replaceable. And therefore I won't be. And I don't have to make anybody prove it. I don't need their validation. I validate myself. I know I'm irreplaceable. And I know they know it. They don't have to validate it for me. They don't have to tell me. Because I already know. And I know they know. It's understood. it's understood. You won't feel some type of way a lot more often if you know that that's just understood and you don't need to seek the validation anymore, because you validate here. You validate your partner that they're loved with your actions, and you validate yourself because you know what those actions are worth. You validate yourself. And they will continue to validate you because they won't cheat. And they won't look, wander wherever. They'll look forward to coming home because you're pleasant when they come home. They look forward to it. You considered them and made their favorite fucking dinner tonight. You took it upon yourself to go look into finding a job that creates more money because you knew they were stressed about money, and you know dang right well you didn't like your job anyway. Why not find a new one? Maybe you have better hours and get to see each other more often. Support yourself. Don't sabotage yourself. It's about facing insecurities and feeling like you're not capable or not good enough. Because the insecurities is what creates the heartbreak. 3 of Swords, solar plexus card. Insecurities is what creates the heartbreak. You not being confident in yourself is where you create pain in your own heart, and where painful experiences happen that hurt you. Insecurities have to go. Insecurities have to go. You got to know your value. 2 of Coins. Two of Coins is about the ideal not matching the reality. It's like it's kind of like what I was insinuating or talking about, you know, when I said like you might not be happy with the way your skin is or be happy with your figure, but you're not willing to give up eating whatever garbage food you're eating. You're not willing to give up fast food when you could cook for yourself and eat healthier. Or you're cooking yourself garbage and you could make better choices. The ideal doesn't match the reality. Like, you want a happy relationship, you want your partner to look forward to coming home to you, that's ideal. But the reality is they're not looking forward to coming home to you because you're always expressing your insecurities or seeking validation or wondering if you're good enough, or you're always sad because they didn't give you the validation today. Instead of you just knowing your worth. And maybe accepting maybe they had a rough day, and them validating your feelings is not on their priority list. They're human and they're dealing with other stuff. And they just need someone who's nurturing and letting them be stress-free and watching a TV show with them and not necessarily talking about it or bringing it up so they can process, bring it up on their own. Right? If you want the ideal to match the reality, you're going to have to let the insecurities go. King of Wands. Yeah, reignite your soul fire, man. See the long term. It's not about today being a bad day. It's about bad days happen sometimes. No one said life was going to be a fucking cakewalk, and no one said that every day had to be like, yeah, I love today, yay, today was such a great day. Like, that's not realistic. That's not realistic. We work with fucking jerk-offs. Our family gets on our fucking nerves. Our friends disappoint us. Our fucking bank account is what it is. Like, life ain't fucking perfect. It's not all fucking yays and rainbows and shit all the fucking time. That's life. But the long-term vision being at peace, it's knowing that there's going to be fucking bad days, but that you're still together in the end. That you love and honor and respect each other in the end. That you look forward to growing old together. You look forward to retiring and sitting on that fucking porch. Whatever the fuck you dream about being old. If you're sitting here worried that you're going to be alone, and you're picturing yourself alone, and you're fearing that you're going to be alone, then the things that come out of your mouth and the things that you choose to do are going to manifest that vision, because that's where you're acting from. You have that vision in your mind and you're afraid of it and making choices, acting on things, saying things. With that vision in your mind, well, that's what's manifesting it. You picture yourself happy and growing old with someone, and you keep that in mind, you just love. And you don't question your worth. Because you know the person that they witness every day brings them fucking peace in a world of chaos. You're their peace. You're their safe haven. Their thank fucking God you exist space. Because the rest of the world is fucking nuts and driving them up a wall. You're the last place that drama exists. No one in the right mind, would take the one place where drama does not exist and say, fuck it, I'd rather have 100% drama. Life is fucking dramatic. I think I want a partner who's super fucking dramatic too. No one in the right mind is going to do that. The whole fucking world is dramatic and chaotic, and you're the one fucking place that they can trust, brings them fucking peace, and the drama is not on the fucking table being served for dinner. They will never let it go. They will never let it go. You're the fucking oasis in the desert. You know what I mean? Shit. Yeah, you got to see the fucking light through your shadows, man. Virgoian energy on the bottom. 9 of coins. You got to see your value and your worth as an individual. You got to see your value and your worth, that you are the light shining in the dark night. You got to see that. You got to see that, and you got to know that. You are the light in someone's dark day. And that's fucking valuable. All right. I hope that helps. That was secret code name Jawnski. Secret code name Lamb Spirit. Secret code name Lamb Spirit. And if you are so inclined, when I'm done this message, Google Lamb Animal Spirit Medicine. Thank it for crossing your path, giving you its light. Accept it. I accept. Thank you. Because when an animal crosses your path and makes its energy aware to you, it's a gift, right? So Lamb Spirit. And those who resonate with this reading, how do we gain independence from the karmic shadow, the pain cycles? Pluto, Libra, 5th house. Someone else had a really similar energy. Pluto energy is about addressing what needs to be transformed on an unconscious level, which means you didn't know you were taught that. For example, let's just say, because it's 5th house, right? Let's say you grew up hearing the narrative, women don't make as much as men in the workplace, it's unequal pay, right? Men don't earn as much as women, or men earn more than women for the same job, same tasks, same responsibilities, same title. Women don't earn as much. Maybe your mother had to go to work and couldn't earn as much money as your dad. And now you're not earning what you wish you would earn at your job. And you think it's the system. You deserve more. But the fact of the matter is, if you're not getting paid the most money, it's because you're not putting in the most work or have the most responsibility. It's like someone else getting the promotion instead of you. Maybe the other person doesn't have a subconscious chip on their shoulder. They're more determined, more exciting to go to work, and not thinking anything is unfair. They're just glad to be there and do their best. Lo and behold, they get the promotion. Why? Because their energy is better to be around. One example. Maybe, and this is another example, right? You have a YouTube channel. Let's just say you have a YouTube channel and you don't understand why you don't have 200,000 followers. But maybe you only go live or put up videos twice a year. Well, why would you have 200,000 followers if you only post 2 videos a year? Where's the effort? The effort that's worth 200,000 followers. Especially if that's your passion. 5th house. Passion. 5th house is natally ruled by Leo. Leo's heart is big, above and beyond. You want to unlock 5th house, you got to be able to go above and beyond. You got to be able to go above and beyond what you think is fair, what you've been taught is fair. Fair is fair. You got to be able to go above and beyond. You got to love what you're doing so much that it don't even matter if it's fair to anybody's fucking standards, because you're loving what you're doing. Because you're either working at a job for the paycheck, or you're working at the job because that's your passion. Because it's the person who has passion that gets the promotions. It's the person who's passionate that puts in that little bit of extra. Even if it's clocking in 2 minutes early and leaving 10 minutes late. Because this and this and this had to get done the right way. It was worth the extra 10 minutes. And they're not bitching about being late. And they're not racing to get out of there 10 minutes early. They'll stay as late as they have to stay with a smile on their face because they love what the fuck they do. And everybody loves working with them because anybody there can go to them about anything and they'll help. It doesn't matter if you've been working there 10 years and they've been there 10 months. Doesn't matter if you have a whole bunch of experience and a degree and they're green as shit. Depends on whose heart's in it. Why are you doing what you're doing? Are you going to work for the paycheck? At that job, are you going to work for the paycheck? Or are you going to work and getting a paycheck at all because you love people at home that you're taking care of? Why do you do what you do? What is your driver? What are you going above and beyond for? And does it matter if it's fucking fair, if it's providing all that you need above and beyond for what matters to you most? Because it's the whole it's not fair shit that needs to stop. It's not fair. It's not equal. What does it fucking matter? If it provides your happiness and balance to your life, what do you care? What do you care that Joe Schmo is getting paid an extra 50 cents more an hour than you, type thing? What do you fucking care? Are all the people you love taken care of? Do you need for anything in your life? Are you struggling for something? What do you care? Do what you do because what you do provides for you what you love and feel passionate about, whether it's the job itself or the people that the job provides for. The lifestyle that the job provides for. Who the fuck cares who's making what? As long as you are taken care of, the people you love are taken care of, and you're not needing or wanting for anything. Who cares? The whole idea of what is fair is going to distract you from the reason why you do what you do and what you're passionate about, and the real reason, the real driver why you do what you do. That would be like me getting upset because I don't have 200,000 followers. Well, I don't know if I should do what I do anymore. I don't know if I should read cards anymore. I don't know if I should even put up free videos on my YouTube channel. I don't have 200,000 followers. I don't fucking do it for the followers. I do it because I fucking love it. I do it because I love it. I love being there for people. I love being able to do these moon events. Do you think I give a shit that the Leo King charges over $1,000 fucking dollars for a birth chart analysis? Do you think I blame the fact that he's a dude and I'm a female and that's why I don't charge what I charge? The way he does? Well, if he makes $1,000 doing astro chart reading, so should I. Who the fuck cares? Like, my prices are fair to me. You know what I mean? In my time. Doesn't matter. I'm taken care for. The people in my life are taken care of. I don't want for anything. Who cares? It's got to feel right here. It's got to feel good here. I sure as shit, I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing for the 2,000 subscribers I have on this channel or the 7,800 whatever followers I have on Facebook just because I don't have 200,000. Well, it's not fair they have them, I don't. That's not why I do what I do. God knows I got an offer for a sponsor. I would have made more money off of my videos. I would have been guaranteed money. I got an offer from a sponsor. And I love the fact that I can give an ad-free message so much that I said no thank you because I don't want to interrupt what I do and love for other people to drop an ad. Thank you, but no thank you. I love what I do too much. It's not even about the money. Had I taken that sponsorship, y'all would be getting ads in the middle of every fucking video with me talking about, take a look in the description, blah, 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 blah. You really gonna like these products? No one gives a fuck about those products. They want to hear the message that I have to give. That's what I care about. I care about me and you and this healing. I don't give a fuck about their product or the fact that they would pay me to talk about it. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Remember why you do what you do. What's your driver? What's important? Fuck everything else. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Insight, please, Spirit. King of Swords, Five of Cups. Yeah, you got to recognize the truth and the fact that you're manifesting your reality from your thoughts and you're looking at the glass as half empty instead of the glass as half full. It's pessimism. Straight up, it's just pessimism. Feeling like shit's not fair. Do you love what you're doing or not? Do you love what you're creating in this life or do you not? What's your stamp on the world? The lives that you touch. What's your purpose? Because that's fifth house. Understanding your creative purpose, your stamp on the world. What you love to do has to fucking matter more than anything else. It's just pessimism. That's all it is. Start being an optimist. If you lived your entire life doing what you love and changed one person's life in such a profound way doing what you do, whether you're a veterinary, whatever, and you save someone's dog and change their fucking life, or you work at the bank and found someone's $1,000 sitting in an envelope on the fucking thing, and you on the counter, and was like, excuse me, you forgot your $1,000, because you're fucking honest and you give a shit about people's money being where it's meant to be. You changed their fucking whole life, because they might have lost their fucking apartment, car, whatever, if they lost that fucking money. You don't know. You changed one person's fucking life doing what you love and being proud to fucking do it. Is that not a goddamn miracle? Are you not a creator of miracles then? Did your fabulous light not shine and ripple and change the world, even for a moment? That you doing what you love reminded someone that there's honest people in the world. Not everybody's a jerk-off, asshole, selfish thief. That people actually care. Maybe you're a musician and you wrote a song that never made it to the radio, never made you $1 million, but you sang it for one night in a bar and you touched someone's fucking soul and inspired them to call up their ex and admit they still fucking love them and they were wrong and they're sorry. And you changed their whole fucking life because you just fucking love to sing and you love to write music, and that song was near and dear to you and you just had to perform it. It doesn't matter if you make $1 million off the track. It just matters that you love doing what you're doing. And that you're doing it because you love it. That's all that matters. Be an optimist. 9 of coins. Remember the beauty of your authenticity. Remember the joy why you do what you do. Because that is how wishes get granted. 9 of cups on top. That's how dreams come true. That's how wishes get granted. By being in a fucking gratitude mindset. You got to be able to love the fact that you get to do what you do and what it provides for you and other people. So I hope that helps. All right. Secret code name, Razzle Dazzle. Secret code name, Razzle Dazzle. All right, guys. How do we gain our independence from the shadow, the karmic shadows, the pain cycles? How do we claim our independence from the bullshit? Spirit, please. First house, Taurean energy, North Node. North Node is destiny's direction. It's the way. That if you focus on the light of that sign, it is the way. Taurean energy is about stability and the beauty of life. Moving slowly. Slow and steady wins the race. Life is not a race to rush. It doesn't matter who gets to the end first. It doesn't matter who shows up and crosses the finish line last. If you try and rush faster than your body can fucking carry you, you will knock yourself out. You will exhaust yourself. You might not make it to the end of the race. Your body might straight up give out. You can only go as fast as you are capable. And there is no such thing as falling behind. There's no such thing. You can only move forward. Time sure as shit don't go backwards. Neither do your feet on this path. Nobody actually walks backwards. We're all going to make it to the finish line. House of self, first house. Understanding you are beautiful. inside and out. You're beautiful. It's about being grateful for yourself. Grateful for who you are and that you haven't been tainted by life. That life has not destroyed the beauty in you. That you will take your time through the obstacles with your head high because you didn't let any obstacle break you. That you have the stamina and the strength to continue forward no matter what ends up in your path, and that you are not ashamed to stop and smell the roses along the way. Because if you were rushing by, you would have missed it. If you were rushing to the end, you would have missed it. Life is beautiful. The journey is beautiful. And you'll get there when you get there. You'll get there when you get there. This is about maintaining stability within the self, which means you are unwilling to rattle yourself. This is about playing to your strengths, not your weaknesses. The bull, it's a big, strong, sturdy animal, capable of carrying a lot of weight, not so great in fitting in small spaces. It's not a mouse. It's not a horse. An ox and a bull might be able to run, but it's not a horse. It's not quite as fast. Doesn't mean it's less capable. Just means it's going to get there when it gets there. It's strong. It's sturdy. It might be carrying a lot of weight. And for good reason. It might be holding up a whole family unit, making sure they all get across the finish line. The ox is capable. The bull is capable. It's not about getting angry with life. It's not about feeling backed into a corner because you put expectations on yourself or other people put expectations on you. That's like a bull in a china shop shit. Why put yourself in a situation that's not natural to you? Be grateful for being who you are in situations that better suit you. The bull paces itself. The bull paces itself. Think about that. It can carry a heavy fucking load. A bull can carry more than a horse. But it ain't gonna run full speed with it. It's gonna pace itself. Because it's carrying a heavier load. And it knows better. There's wisdom in that. You're beautiful for being who you are. You carry what you're capable of carrying and you pace yourself. Because otherwise everything you're carrying ain't getting to wherever it's got to go. And nothing's crossing that finish line. It's okay. Trust your own inner stability. Trust your pace. Trust your path. Trust your beauty. Face the facts of the reality. You've got strengths. And some things are not your fucking forte. North Node is in Gemini right now. North Node is in Gemini right now. Facts of the reality. Gemini and energy. Facts. Some things are not your forte. If you're a fucking bull, why would you volunteer to do the Raven's job? Bull don't even have fucking wings. How can it do the Raven's job? I'm sorry, flying is not the bull's forte. It's not. The bull has its own strengths. It's okay if it can't fly. The raven can't carry the kind of weight the bull does. Not in a million years. That raven will never be able to carry what the bull does. So be grateful for your strengths. Play to your strengths. Don't worry about what's not your forte. It's someone else's. Let them play to their strengths. The bull can carry the load, and the raven can fly high and work with the bull and say, hey, there's a fucking incline up ahead, but if you go around the side, it's a little bit longer distance-wise, but it's so much fucking easier than going up the incline. You can just go around. It'll save you energy. Let the raven fly overhead and see what's coming up in advance. Maybe that's not your forte. Seeing ahead, anticipating challenges, knowing in advance, maybe it's not your forte. It's fine. You know the easiest way forward right now. You got people helping you out. To be strong where you're not. To use their strengths in replacement of your weaknesses. You have to be able to trust that other people's strengths will benefit the both of you. Because maybe the raven can't carry all the shit that the ox is carrying, but the ox is carrying the raven shit for him. Maybe the raven has a bunch of shit that the ox is carrying, that the bull's carrying. And the raven is just super fucking thankful that the bull can carry it, because it can't. So all it can do is make the bull's path as easy as possible. It's like, okay, you're carrying all this shit for me. I'm going to let you know what's up ahead so that the journey is as painless as possible. As easy as possible. And they work together. They use their strengths to work together. That's what this is about. First house, Taurus, North Node. Play to your strengths. Let other people play to their strengths. And you'll both get to the end much happier than if you were the bull just lugging up the most energy draining way, or the raven having to do without and leaving things that matter to them behind because you just can't carry it. It's the beauty of teamwork. Play to your strengths. All right. Insight, spirit, please. Razzle Dazzle. First house, Taurus, North Node. How do we gain our independence from the shadow? Our karmic cycles. What do we need to be aware of? Justice. Justice. Your soul's got to be weightless. If you have no regrets, you got no regrets. You would regret trying to take on the raven's job and not being able to do it, right? No, I volunteer for the Raven's job, but I can't do it. Now I feel like shit because I volunteered for something I can't do. Your soul has to be weightless. Six of Coins is about giving and receiving in balance. Moving forward mentally into calmer waters, knowing it is okay that you don't have to have all of the strengths in the world. There are a reason why we each have our own. The World card, completing that cycle. Five of Swords with the Ace of Cups. Five of Cups with the Two of Swords, and the Four of Coins with the Four of Swords on bottom and the Eight of Swords on top. Lots of swords and lots of cups. You got to know that not everybody's going to like it. Not everybody's going to like it. That you're following your heart and playing to your strengths and not giving in to their shit. But to be completely fair, it's almost like having to be aware of the fact that other people are upset with themselves for not having the same strength you do. And vice versa. You can't be upset with yourself because you don't have someone else's strengths and you wish you did. It's about not buying into the argument, the mental argument, or battling with someone because you know your cup is overflowing in your strengths. It's about understanding, right? Five of Cups energy, the beauty of it. It's okay. Like, life isn't perfect. It's fine. The raven might miss something. Like, just because it's the raven and it's flying overhead doesn't mean there's not canopy of trees and it misses the fucking pothole in the road. You can't get pissed at the raven for seeing it. Just like the raven can't be upset with you because you couldn't see it until you got there. Now y'all have to turn around or figure out another way completely. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as a waste of time. It's being grateful for the experience and knowing that you'll get there when you get there. Some things in life are unavoidable. Doesn't mean we have to mentally suffer. It doesn't mean we have to emotionally suffer. Some things just are what they are. It's knowing that you can only carry what you're capable of carrying. Any more and you drop it. Any more you might not make it to the finish line. You're only capable of doing what you're capable of. And you got to know that. Your heart might be torn because you want to carry it for everything for everybody. Because you want to carry everything for everybody. You know, I kept saying ox too. If you think about the Chinese zodiac, if you got a north node in Taurus and you're also born under the ox and Chinese zodiac, this reading might be very specific to you. If you resonated to this message, this code name. You can't carry all of it. You can want to. You can wish you can. But if you can't, you can't. Like, even the bull, the ox, being able to carry more than most animals, still can't carry the entire world. Hell, it might also be knowing that you can carry a little bit more and be fine instead of being afraid that you can't. Trusting your strength. Trusting your forte. Knowing that you can carry just a little bit more and still be fine. You want to get out of the shadow? You need to be able to take those breaks, Four of Swords, and visualize what is actually important. Ten of Coins, happy family, happy life, stability. Be able to reinvent yourself instead of looking like you're trapped in your own reflection. It's like completing one journey and getting to one finish line and wanting to stop. Be like, nah, I made it to the finish line. And Raven's like, yeah, but if we go a little bit further and we make it to this point, there's all of this shit going on over there and it's fucking awesome. We can make it. We can do it. We got this far. Let's go to the next finish line. Let's go to the next point. We made it from point A to point B. Let's go from point B to point C now. Come on, we can do it. We're working together. We'll take the easiest, most effective, and efficient way. Don't be blinded by your fears. Remember, go at your own pace, and you can go wherever you want to go. Be grateful for the journey. Stop and smell the flowers if you want to stop and smell the flowers. You might not ever pass those flowers again on whatever path from B to C and C to D and D to E or wherever the fuck you go. Stop and smell the flowers. Enjoy the journey. Go at your own pace. You'll get to see everything you want to get to see. Do everything you want to get to do. Live every bit of the experience that you want to live. Don't let your head get disappointed in your heart because you don't think it's fast enough. Like I said at the very beginning, it's not about rushing to the finish line. It's not about witnessing 5 different cups and tasting from 5 different cups if you've got the one fucking cup that you enjoy. An example might be like if you go to the bar and your friend's like, oh my God, you always get a blue moon. Why don't you try something different? And you're like, because I like blue moon. I enjoy blue moon. I will never get tired of blue moon. Right? Like, yeah, the bar has a million options. I'm sure there's some great ones in there, but I like blue moon. It's good. I'm fine. I'm happy. If something works for you, don't feel like you have to change it. Especially if what you're changing it to might not work for you. It's like if it's not broke, don't fix it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I hope that helps. That secret code name, Razzle Dazzle. Because I feel like by the time you get to the final finish line in this lifetime, you won't have any regrets. You'll have given all that you could have given and received all that you were meant to receive. No regrets. No regrets. That wraps it up, guys. Stay focused on your best visions, your best daydreams. Do what you love because you love it, or don't do it at all. Do what you do because you love it, because you're good at it and you fucking love it, because it works for you. No other reason required or necessary. No other reason required or necessary. Till next time. This is Divine Rebel Racey signing out. I love y'all very much. Remember always to love each other. And most importantly, love yourselves. Bye, everybody.